We're gonna give it a couple minutes for folks to join. I'm going to give it till 12:01 for us to start, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Well, hello, everyone. We really appreciate you joining us this Thursday afternoon for our Lunch and Learn. Today, Sales Representative Steve Mackey is here to give us a quick tour of Library.Solutions. That is TLC's web-based integrated library system for public libraries. Before we start, I want to mention a few housekeeping items. First of all, we are recording. So if you want to share this with your colleagues or watch it again, the recording will be available on the website starting tomorrow. But since you're joining us live, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions. So feel free to use that Q&A widget at the bottom of your screen anytime throughout the presentation, and we'll address any questions at the end. Steve, thank you for joining us for our Lunch and Learn. Take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Whitley, and hello, everyone out there in library land. I'm excited to show you a little bit of bite-sized information about Library.Solution. It's particularly interesting to me because one of the first projects that I ever did in a library was the retrospective conversion project to convert my local public library from card catalog to a digital database. Part of that, I worked with the Library Corporation's Bibliophile, a database of Library of Congress MARC records. And boy, have things changed since then. Now we have Library.Solution. We like to point out that we build and develop so that it is intuitive and flexible and intentional. We're going to focus today on how Library.Solution leverages linked data to help you support authority control within your library. And we have a little bit of a different approach to this. We use linked data to link our resources to Library of Congress, controlled thesauri for subjects and series and authors and genres. So that helps your cataloging team, regardless of those that have tremendous experience or those like me who knew it a long time ago but haven't been able to speak it on a day-to-day level. It keeps us consistent. And we do that all so that your end users can have a more enjoyable discovery experience. And we want to show that a little bit in action. We're going to focus on our form-based editing and alerts for unverified authorities. We can show you how it can be flexible. You can support local authorities and genres, should you wish. It's very flexible to do batch updates. And we are intentional in our design because we also support automatic real-time authority updates. And then again, it's all based on the foundation of the linked data that we have within Library.Solution. So having said that, let's pop over into our cataloging module. If you're interested in a more detail all about cataloging, we're happy to set up a one-on-one with you to work with that. Today, we're going to focus on authority control. And my example today will deal with one of my favorite authors and a series with the character of the name Cotton Malone. So Cotton Malone is a protagonist for a author named Steve Berry, if you're not familiar. Nice little adventure, suspense, intrigue in all of his books, and they're very easy to read when you're on the road or by the pool or whenever you're enjoying it. So what I had done, I just did a search for Cotton Malone as a character, and you'll notice in our demo environment, right now, there are only 3 titles that show up. So we want to make sure that all of our Steve Berry titles include the correct series for Cotton Malone so that a user can see all of those titles if they happen to search for the series. So how we're going to do that is we're going to come over here into cataloging and we see our title spaces. Now, one thing about title spaces is you can imagine these to be virtual representation of all of the carts that are in your technical services department. And so in this particular case, I have a virtual cart of all of my titles that are authored by Steve Berry. I happen to know that Cotton Malone is a character in all of those titles. But what we see here is 13 titles versus the 3 that we were currently able to discover in our end user discovery platform. One of the things that I will point out is you'll notice all of the 13 titles here. One is highlighted yellow with a little alert there that lets me know that that contains an unverified authority. If I want to click in there and take a look, I can look at this title in our cataloging module. I can easily come down here and take a look at the series and uniform title using the navigation menu on the side. And I see that we've got a series title that's Landmark Leasing. Well, that's not really a series name for that. I could easily unlock this record and delete that title, but I'm going to show you a nice feature that we've got in our batch updating. If I come back to my Steve Berry title space, I can select all of these titles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and hit my batch actions, and I'm going to edit all of these records in batch. So I can come in here, it lets me know I'm editing these 13 titles. I'm going to come down and say I want to edit series. And we're going to add a series title, and I'm going to search here, and I'm going to find the series title for Cotton Malone. So what you're seeing in real time is access to the linked data that we supply from our ITSMARC authorities. And these are all thesauri for series, authors, and subjects, geographic subjects, all of those subjects and series that are maintained by the Library of Congress, ITSMARC. We're going to update all of these records with the Cotton Malone series title. I am, because I know that I have that Alexandria title that has an incorrect series, I'm going to tell the system to go ahead and delete all of the other series. In these titles, I want to show just Cotton Malone. I have an option to say I want to keep it in draft mode so I can review individually, or if I want to instantly publish that to the discovery database and get that submitted, I can say, I want them published. I'm going to leave these in a draft state because we're going to use that for a couple of other examples. And I'm going to save these as drafts, and the system is going to go through and do that batch updating for us. And with 13 titles, it doesn't take a whole lot of time to accomplish that. So I can come in here. Let's go back down in here. We still see that unverified authority for the Alexandria link because it's not been published yet. But you'll notice in the series and uniform title that the series title for Landmark Leasing has now been replaced with Cotton Malone. So some of the other things that I can do in batch that I want to point out is I also want to make sure our genres are up to date. So if someone is searching for a political thriller, for example, I can come in here and I can select a genre. If I can type correctly, POLITIC. So I can use political fiction. And you'll see that this genre is controlled vocabulary from the Library of Congress. So I can update that. I also want to add suspense. And you'll see we have a couple of different thesauri that we use. The first one is TLC GT, that stands for the Library of Congress, our genre thesauri. So I can use that. You'll also see GSAFD, and I forget that, but that's the genre vocabulary provided from the Library of Congress. So I'm going to say I want to add genres for political fiction, suspense fiction, and update those. I'm still going to keep them as drafts. I'm going to save those drafts. And once again, within a matter of seconds, it's going to edit those. Let me know if there were any errors. In this case, all 13 titles were edited successfully. And I can come in here and let's just take a look at one of these records. And I see where we have the Cotton Malone series. That's now in the controlled vocabulary from the Library of Congress. I can come down and I see within the genres, we're going to give our end users the ability to search for suspense fiction, political fiction. And then we also have all the different subjects that come along with the particular MARC record. Now, what I can choose to do as well with this title, if I wanted to edit this, that will unlock the record for me to edit. And if I wanted to add each of those individually, for example, if this was volume 10, I could put that in there. So not only would we have the series title, we also have the series number available to the users who want to be able to read those in order and discover those very quickly. So I would probably want to do that, but in the interest of time, we're going to discard those changes and take a look at a couple of other things. So there's easy way to do batch updates to maintain all of your authorities. What we can also do is we can come in here and we can search. This is a demo database, so I don't want to give any of the librarians listening a heart attack that we have unverified local authorities, but we do. It's the real world, and this gives me an opportunity to come through. You'll notice a lot of Star Wars series title that I was practicing on, but I'm going to come over here and take a look at some of these other ones. These are all unverified local authorities that have come to us, most likely through our import process, because you have the opportunity to automatically create a local authority and verify it if it does not already connect to the Library of Congress controlled vocabulary authorities. So in this particular example, I want to look at Alston BB and show you a couple of neat tricks about here. I can view the titles that are associated with this particular record. I could click into that title, but I'm going to cancel and go, you know, that's a personal name. I probably don't need to have that in my local authority file. I'm going to search for a new name. And so I'm going to type in Alston BB, and we'll see that in fact there is a Library of Congress name for Alston BB. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to use that heading. So that will automatically update that bibliographic record and link it to the controlled authority. And what you'll see here is I still have this unverified local authority. I'll take a look and I can view the titles. I see that it's still there, but once it's done, the overnight processing will eliminate any of the local authorities that now no longer have any titles linked. So unless you enjoy the satisfaction of deleting them manually, all you have to do is let the system work for you and automatically clean up those zero title authorities that are in the system, because that's done for you overnight without any muss or fuss. So that's about all the time we have to do authorities and genres and how easy it is to work with linked data in library.solution. Whitley, do we have any questions we might want to take that have come from our esteemed guests today?
Did you have anything else you wanted to present, or should I go ahead and launch the poll for more information
No,
while we
that's
formulate?
about all that we have to show because I know this is a 20
Yeah,
to 30-minute lunch and learn, and we want to let everybody get back to their regular duties.
just want to make sure. Okay, well, I'm going to give folks a couple minutes to, or a minute to formulate some questions.
Perfect.
In the meantime, I'm going to post a poll. This is asking if you would like more information from TLC. If yes, please click the yes option and we'll follow up after the webinar. Um, we do have a question so far. Lots of our import records are from Sears headings.
Uh-huh.
Are other thesauri available in the authority control other than the LC?
At this time, we are investigating integrating other thesauri. Right now, we have the Library of Congress. You have a couple of options to handle Sears headings that come in. If you use the option to not create a local verified authority record, it's very easy within a title record to go in and search for the appropriate Library of Congress record. Alternately, you could verify that as a local authority, and within the local authority verification, there are fields for you to mark the source. So it would include that Sears heading, and that's how you can work with other thesauri right now, as well as creating local authorities for maybe an author from your hometown that hasn't made celebrity status and gotten into the Library of Congress author database at this point in time.
Okay. Our next question, will the system suggest newer, updated versions of outdated subject terms or names?
Yes, that's one of the greatest things about using the linked data within library.solution. As author information changes, one of the examples that I think of is when Jimmy Carter passed. None of our customers had to go in and edit individually his author entry in the book titles that they had. Because of the linked data that automatically got updated for all of our customers that had a Jimmy Carter title for them.
And I think this last question got answered in the answer there, but
Uh-huh.
so what happens if an authority record changes after it's already been used in records? You were saying it gets updated based on that linked data, correct?
It does get updated automatically. I know this example is a little old, but when the Library of Congress finally gave up the ghost on the subject heading cookery, uh, if that were to happen again with another subject heading, that would automatically be replaced with the more contemporary vocabulary and language that people are used to using.
Okay, well, that is all the questions that we have. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. The recording is going to be available starting tomorrow at tlcdelivers.com/webinars. Should you want to replay it or share it with your coworkers or leadership. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Steve. And
Thank
I
you,
hope everyone has a
everyone.
great day.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.